Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm one of your extra people that wasn't here last year. That didn't matter last year, but apparently having MP after your name suddenly means that I do. And I just want to kind of like, I agree with nearly everything that's been said on the panel so far, and I just want to kind of like add some reflections of the last 4 months of being a new Member of Parliament for the region. So for those of you who don't know my little bit, I'm the extra little red dot on the sea of blue that we have in the southwest. And that has been really interesting because as a Plymouth lad, I've grown up with that self-deprecating sense that Plymouth's really good, but we're not going to say it. Yeah. And the southwest's awesome, but we'll only really defend it when someone from outside our region has a go at us. And then we'll be vociferous, and then we'll sit back down again. And I think that sense of pride in our place needs to be matched by a new sense of ambition and relentlessness about what we're asking for. Now, the world has changed fundamentally in the last 12 months, both in terms of politically, with the rise of hate on one side of an argument, the rise of Trump and the effects from that type of politics, Brexit and what that means for our economy and our society we want to live in. But I think also because other parts of the United Kingdom have got their act together in a greater sense than we have as a southwest. Now, some of that is to do with the county boundaries that Neil spoke about, but some of that's to do with they've just been louder, more relentless, more ambitious, more willing to put aside divisions, personality drifts, and slightly different perspectives to work together to drive what we need. And I think that is really where we need to be. So since I've been elected, I've made no apology about being a bit of a troublemaker. You might have spotted this for those people who've been following me. And actually, I think it's necessary. Because actually, if we do the things that we have always done, we will get the answer we've always got. And so partly, I want us to be more ambitious, more relentless about what we're doing. But to the challenge that have just been posed, I want this to be based on more of a campaign approach. Because before I was elected, I was a campaigner, both on environmental terms, but also helping people. My last job was building controversial buildings, skyscrapers, football stadiums and things. And at no point in my entire career in the private sector would we create an aspiration and then produce a nice report, launch it, and then go, oh, that's right. Let's hope that people in London, in their benevolence, will look down upon us and see the merit of our arguments. There's been an action plan at every single stage. And I think that's what we need to do much more in the southwest. That's giving our politicians a clearer tasking of what we need them to go and do. So, for instance, in the autumn budget that we're getting, £30 million to reduce the journey times between Exeter and Plymouth by 3 minutes when the track's being upgraded next year. Simple, key ask, really simple to do. Frankly, they're spending billions elsewhere. It's time we got our fair share. If they can't match big commitments for other regions, 30 million is the least that can be done. Clear tasking, go get it, and then clear accountability where that fails. Now, we're not going to win every argument. We know that. But I think giving our politicians, the business leaders, like a sense of collaboration, common purpose, common endeavour, I think will be really useful because that will give us the objective, I think, in a year's time to see how are we doing? Where are arguments not landing? Because while other regions are coordinating, investing together, they're getting a relative advantage on where we are. Now, we don't get our fair share in the southwest. We know that. We haven't done for decades. But our risk is getting worse, that not only are we not getting our fair share, we're not getting our fair share of the increased funding that's going elsewhere. So that's where I think we need to be relentless in what we do. But I also think in that ambition, we need to go one step further. Instead of just kind of like, incremental tweaks on our strategy, I want us to take grand steps forward. And so with the work that South West Water's doing, and disclaimer, I used to work for Chris before a long time ago before I was elected, I think we should be saying, right, instead of just doing a little bit extra, let's really push out. Let's be radical and ambitious in our vision. So the spaceport, a great example of not just going, we want a better train line, we want some better roads, we want to go further. Our sense that actually, why should the M5 stop at Exeter? Why shouldn't that push on to the Tamar Bridge? Why shouldn't we have faster journey times on our trains? Why shouldn't we be demanding not just the 30 million that we need to get 3 minutes off the journey, but 9 billion to get what we need? And I think if we push ourselves further out than we are at the moment, that will have 2 reactions. One, it will annoy a lot of politicians because they'll have to do a lot more stuff to do it. And I think that is a good thing. Secondly, the gap between where the public will see our industry, our sector, our region, and where we are now will mean politicians and government will have to backfill it. Now, the other thing that's changed since a couple of years ago is the South West is once again full of marginal seats. Now, that's worth remembering, and it's worth exploiting. Now, I represent a marginal seat. I've got a 7,000 majority now, which was quite a surprise to me, I must tell you, but it's still a marginal seat. So I want the Tories to try and win it off us. And the best way of doing that is by pouring money into it. Is by saying, yes, you will get an upgraded train line. Yes, we will listen to you about not cutting defence jobs in the dockyard. Yes, we will do that. And actually, be big and bold. If you want to take that seat off me, if you want to defend seats that Labour could well take off the Conservatives at the next election, whenever it may come, be bolder, be more ambitious, because we, the South West, will demand that from you, be that a Labour government, a Conservative government, or whoever is in power. Be bolder, be more ambitious, and I think we've got a real chance of getting more stuff. Because at the end of it, wherever you are, whether you're a blue MP or a red MP, I think we're all in it to get more stuff for our region. And I think there's a window of opportunity here to do things differently, to be bolder, to be more ambitious, to be more relentless, frankly, to be more annoying with government ministers along the way. So we're getting the stuff we need. And I think that is the challenge we need to rise to in the next 12 months. So if we come back here in a year's time, we're not saying the same warm words. There's an action plan to go against. There's things we can learn from. There's successes we can celebrate. And there's areas where we can refocus on. That, I think, is our challenge for the next 12 months.
Thank you, Luke.